Okay, so, hey. I am reviewing A Very Large Expanse of Sea today by Tahereh Mafi. I looked it up. It's probably not how you say it, but that's as close as I could get because it wasn't much help to look it up for some reason. But yes, that is Tahereh Mafi, and I wrote my own summary, but it still got a lot of the original summary that is in here because I didn't know exactly how to change it, but I did change it up a good amount, so it was just not exactly the original summary. So yeah, let me just get right into reading that. It's 2002, right after 9/11, and Shirin just started a new school again. It has been extremely hard for her to walk through life right now, especially since she is a 6-year-old Muslim girl tired of being stereotyped. She is never surprised about how awful people can be, but she is tired of rude stares, degrading comments, even physical violence. She decided long ago that she would never trust anyone ever again, so they could not get close enough to hurt her. But then she meets Ocean James. He is the first person in years who tries to truly get to know her. Shirin feels they are from completely different worlds, that she has pushed people away for so long, she doesn't even know if she can let them in. So there's the summary of the book. I mentioned this when I was talking about reviewing this book last week, about when I was in Broken Things or whatever. I was reviewing Broken Things and I told you I was going to review this. Yes, words work. Anyway, I think I told you I read this in one night during the summer. Had this real comfy little circle chair in here that I broke, but it was in here working still, and I would sit in it and I would read with a little blanket and a lamp or something on and just reading. And what I did is I read this from around midnight till around 6:30 in the morning. And then I put the book on the shelf, and the bookmark I made for it was only used once or twice because I had to put the bookmark in so I could go to the bathroom. So the bookmark, it didn't go to waste though, because my mom decided she wanted to read it, so she used it. And she had the book for like 3 months. How do you have a book this small that I read in the matter of 6-7-ish hours, and you have it for 3 months? Anyway, yeah, so I read it in one night. It was really good. And this is a romance. And it is one of the first true romance stories I've read. Because all the other stories and series is like they sprinkled in a little bit of romance, or they just threw a little bit in there, but it wasn't a big deal. And I like when the romance is a big deal. And this is one of the very first romances that I've read, other than this trilogy right here, which it still counts because it has like a big deal romance in it, but most of the story is something else. And so that's why this is also a single novel, and I haven't read a single novel romance. Everything else is just sprinkled in there. And then this like wrong shelf. This series, it has a situation where I want something to happen, but it just like teensy bit, but then it's just gone. And then the Serafina up here, yeah, like I said, it has that little bit of romance in it, but not really. It was so small, it didn't really count. And so it was just like, deep, oh, there's a little dot of it there. But yes, this was one of the first actual romances I have read. And it is amazing because all the facts point to that it's amazing, because I read it in one night without really stopping. So So since I read this book in one night, I was able to sit through and feel every emotion of the book. And if you're like me, you will cry at some point in the book if you decide you want to read it, because it is really good romance for a teen romance. Yeah. If I say, like, you're going to feel a certain emotion, like you may cry or may get angry or all that, and you just say you don't want to read it because I'm saying you're gonna cry, I'm not saying you're gonna cry because you're sad. I mean, yes, you're gonna be crying because you're sad, but it's like a good sad somehow. Because if you say you're not gonna read something because you're gonna feel this sadness, then you're not a true reader. I'm just gonna say that, because a true reader knows that you have to read a book with every emotion to understand it and feel the book, and it just gives a better experience for that book, because if you know how that book makes you feel, it's just so much better somehow. But then there's just like some you get really, really sad and then mad at the same time, and then you love the series but you also hate it at the same time. I'm not going to mention one like that because I can't bring myself to at this moment. I can't. But you have to understand, if you're going to read, you have to feel every emotion in the book, or you're not going to get the best experience from it. And if you already feel bored from it, I suggest you finish it, because if you don't finish it, you're going to be like, what? How did it end? Did it actually get better at some point? Because when I was back in elementary school, before I moved and everything, I had this box of unfinished books, because I would start them and then start something else. Well, I don't do that anymore. I don't even know what happened to those books. I think I gave them to my sister. But anyway, these books, I didn't finish them or anything, and at this point now I'm too old for them, and I probably wouldn't have any interest in them. But I do remember them being somewhat good. I just got distracted easily with different books. But now I start a book and I finish it, and I don't read another book at the same time, because I feel if I do that, I'm not going to be able to get the full emotion of that one book I'm reading. And I just don't want to confuse it up and just have reading several books at once, because who does that? That's real strange. But yeah. So read the whole book and feel the emotions of the characters. I feel like a teacher right now saying this, but it's true. If you don't read the whole book and feel the emotions of the characters and what's going on, and you choose not to, and I'm guessing you're just not a true absolute reader, because you have to get that feeling of emotion from a book, or you're not going to get the best experience from it. So since this is a romance, like I keep repeating, it is a teen-rated book. Also, the book has some cussing in it, because the girl, she's just cussing a lot for some reason. But as the book goes on and she finally opens up and everything and all that mess that you'll figure out if you read it, her cussing dies down and she doesn't do it as often. And so I thought of maybe that means she is realizing her life is happier, so she doesn't need to use all these words full of hate. So that was just a thought I had while I was going through this book and writing my outline for this video, is it does die down and is not as frequent, and I think at some point it just almost completely stops, because I'm guessing is that she gets happier with how her life is going, and that she doesn't need to use all these words full of hate and anger. So here's the rating of how good it was to me. As I keep saying, it was amazing, it was really good, and the proof is because I read it in one night and all that, and so I'm stuck between giving it a 4 and a 5. I don't know why I want to give it a 4, but it just doesn't quite feel completely 5 for some reason, because I don't remember why. It just doesn't feel like it, so I'm just going to give it a 4.5. 4.5. Yes, we get a 4.5, because that's all I can think out to do. There's two other things I want to address that has nothing to do with the Very Large Expanse of Sea, but is just something completely random. It's about my book lists. My summer one and my school one that's taped up on the wall over there. Is the last 3 books on this very long list, 18 books, very messily written. The last 3 books on this list I'm not going to review, because they are very young age books, and they're very, very tiny, like 100 pages, which is tiny to me, or 200, that's tiny. I don't count something medium until we get around 300-400. It's not big till 1,000, because I read really, really, really big books. As you see up here, these are really big. But yeah, most of my books range between 200 or over 200 to almost 1,000. Because I think the Harry Potter books are pretty big. I haven't finished that series yet. I really need to. But yes, I'm not going to review these last 3 because okay, that was a strange noise. I don't know if y'all heard it, but it was there. But yeah, I'm not going to review them, not just because they're small, but also because they are lower grade level reading levels, like 3rd grade kind of books, and they're that small. I just read them because I wanted to get to 18 at least. I wanted to get to 20, but 18 at least, because I want to be at an even number, because I'm like that. And I just wanted to get close to 20 for my book list for the summer. And so, yeah. It's still an accomplishment, though, reading 18 books in a 3-month-ish period of a summer. So, yeah. And then my school list, I also want to talk about the fact that so far, since school, the online school disaster mess has started for me around, it was August 17th, which is also kind of funny because the number of books I've read since then till now is 17 books, which I think is close to the amount in the same time frame of my summer reading list, because I would have over 18 probably by now, but I was forced to read a really, really boring book for school. And it was so boring. And then in the last 4 chapters of this book, I was like, oh, this is not bad. And then it ended. So, like, no. But I did add it to the list, so that's why it's 17 and not 16, because technically I did read the book, and it does count as a book I've read for the school year list, and so that's there. So, yeah. Also, if you're hearing strange noises or I hit something over here earlier, is because I was trying to see if I could get this microphone right here to work. It's not a microphone meant for recording. It is a karaoke machine microphone that is hooked up to the karaoke machine over here. I was trying to see if it was going to work at all. It doesn't seem it is. I'll see later when I'm editing, but yeah. Also, I didn't put this on my thing to talk about, but I started this thing a few days ago where I made this little Google Doc thing. Do I still have it up? Let me see. Load, please. So I put up this Google Doc thing. I don't know why it's all crooked, but anyway, okay, it fixed itself. So anyway, I made this thing where it says look up random number generator on Google and use that. Add some things to the list if it comes to mind and put your initials next to what you typed. Well, this is just a Google Doc thing that I shared with my friends and we're all doing something with it. And so I hit the microphone again. I came up with this idea that we all write a prompt to a story you could start, or a starting line to a story. And I have written 5, and one of my other friends, he wrote 6, and nobody else has added anything. But I thought this was pretty cool, and I started writing a story with one of them that I added last night, and it's going to be a ghost story because it sounded pretty cool, okay? But what we're doing is you make a story starter line, like how there's certain sentences in the beginning of a story, and it's just like an actual good way to introduce it. This is the introduction line of that story, and you put like little parentheses of like put your own person's name or your own place or things like that. And so when you're writing your story, you can have your own creative names and not have just a preset one that was on this thing. But I just thought it was pretty cool. I started writing one of the things. So I think once I finish it, I might share it on here and read it or whatever, because I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, I didn't use the number generator because what you're supposed to do is however many things are on there, get a number generator, like randomizer, and put how many numbers it is and just click randomize, and it gives you a random number and you have to do that prompt. Well, I was going through and I was writing the prompts, and I thought of this one, and it just sounded so amazing that I had like an instant idea for it. So I just took it and made another doc thing for it, and it was just, yes. But I mean, I can read the prompt real quick. It's not like it's giving away my story because you can't figure it out. Probably will, because it's like very generic. I think that's what the word is. Known. Something like that. Anyway, the last thing I remember before the world went black in my eyes was I was walking home from, and then you just put a place or a person's house, like anything there. And then all of a sudden, I heard a loud boom. Felt an excruciating pain in my back, and after that is when the world decided to leave my sight. But I just thought it just sounded amazing. I mean, I have a few other ones in there, like they're all like death related or sad. Like, I don't know why that is. There's this one, it says, looking through a window is like looking at the world from a whole new point of view. Some windows show the world moving, and others show it standing still. However, a window never shows the exact same thing twice. And the window in the morgue is one window I wish I will never have another chance to look through. Yeah, they're all like death and sadness stuff that I wrote. I don't know, that's just how my brain works apparently. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I really thought that was a cool idea. Anyway, that's all for whatever randomness I've been talking about, and then this book, A Very Large Expanse of Sea, and I keep hitting the thing. And, well, fly you high, overlanders.